Welcome to the Tastecraft Cookbook channel. The new year is a time of delightful emotions, so I've decided to prepare a special dessert, a New Year's cake. For this cake we will need sugar, 400 grams, chocolate, 50 grams, flour, 75 grams, gelatin, 25 grams, chicken eggs, 5 pieces, butter, 50 grams, matcha tea, 1 tablespoon, vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon, vegetable oil, 25 milliliters, milk, 60 milliliters, Cointreau, orange liqueur, 35 milliliters, cream, 33% fat, 500 grams, cream cheese, 400 grams. Fruits for decoration, banana, grapes, mandarin, blueberries. Also, 3 lemons. A sprig of fresh rosemary will also be needed. In a bowl with chocolate slices, add 3 tablespoons of cream and set aside. In a bowl with 25 grams of gelatin, add 125 milliliters of water. A 1:5 ratio is standard for preparing gelatin. Set it aside to soak and swell. Separate 3 room temperature eggs into yolks and whites. Place the whites in a container for whipping with a mixer. Collect the yolks in a deep bowl. To the 3 yolks, add 25 milliliters of vegetable oil and mix with a whisk. Add milk and mix. Add the matcha. This is green tea powder. Ideally, it should be a brighter green color, but in my case, it is darker. Add flour and mix well. To the container with the whites, add half a teaspoon of lemon juice. This will simplify the whipping process. Also, add a couple of pinches of salt. With a mixer, lightly whip the whites for about 30 seconds until foam forms. Gradually add 60 grams of sugar, continuing to whip. Whip until a thick, dense foam forms. Check if all the sugar has dissolved by rubbing a drop of foam between your fingers. If sugar crystals are felt, you need to whip more. Add the yolk, flour, and matcha mixture to the whipped whites. Mix the batter with bottom to top motions until uniform. Transfer the batter to a springform pan lined with parchment paper. Use a spatula to even out the top edge of the batter. Gently drop the form several times on the table to level the batter and remove excess air. Send the form to an oven preheated to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for 15 minutes. Let the cake layer cool to room temperature. Using a knife, separate the dough from the edges of the form and remove the layer. Transfer the layer to a board lined with parchment paper, upside down. Gently remove the parchment from the bottom of the layer. The top layer, being less sticky, goes down to make it easier to cut slices from the cake. The side that contacted the parchment during baking is more moist and sticky, which will adhere well to the cream. Divide the swollen gelatin into 3 parts. A couple of teaspoons are needed for the lemon cream. Divide the remaining gelatin in half, for the creamy mousse cream and for the top decorative layer. Send the part for the creamy cream to the microwave for 20 to 30 seconds until completely dissolved. Pour the dissolved gelatin into a bowl with cream cheese. Add vanilla extract. Mix everything with a whisk until uniform. In the mixer bowl, place 150 grams of sugar. Add all the remaining cream. Whip the cream into a thick foam, which will take about 5 to 7 minutes. Take a few spoons of whipped cream and mix them with the cream cheese until uniform. This makes it easier to mix the entire volume of whipped cream with the cheese. Otherwise, the heavy mass of cheese will simply settle at the bottom of the container. Mix everything in the mixer and stir for about 30 seconds. Use a spatula to remove unmixed patches from the edges of the container. Adjust the adjustable cake ring so that there is a gap of 3 to 4 centimeters between the cake layer and the ring. Place a small amount of cream in this gap. This is necessary so that the bottom edge of the cake is even and hides the layer. Carefully compress the form to reduce the distance between the form and the layer to 2–3 centimeters. Place the remaining cream in the form. Level the top edge with a spatula. If you have a pastry spatula, you can make the top edge even smoother. Send the cake assembly to the refrigerator for a couple of hours. Let's make the lemon curd cream. For this, it's best to use a double boiler. Grate the zest of a couple of lemons. Squeeze the juice from these lemons and add it to the zest. Add 125 grams of sugar. Add a couple of eggs. Heat the double boiler over medium heat, constantly stirring with a whisk. Over time, the mixture will start to thicken. After thickening, turn off the heat and add room temperature butter. Mix until completely dissolved. Add the prepared couple of teaspoons of swollen gelatin and stir until dissolved. Strain the cream through a sieve to remove the zest and any protein residues. Leave to cool to room temperature. Send the bowl with chocolate and cream to an oven preheated to 50 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. This will melt the chocolate without destroying its structure. Thoroughly mix the warm cream with the melted chocolate until uniform. Transfer the resulting mixture to a pastry bag and put it in the refrigerator. Prepare the last layer of the cake, clear jelly. In a pot with 600 milliliters of water, grate the zest of 1 lemon. Add juice squeezed from half a lemon. Add all the remaining sugar. Pour in the orange liqueur. I chose it for its citrus notes and clear color. Place the pot on the stove and turn the heat above medium. Bring to a boil, then turn off the heat and add gelatin. Mix thoroughly until the gelatin dissolves. Strain through a fine sieve to remove the zest. Leave to cool to room temperature. Once the cake assembly has cooled and set, lay the cooled lemon cream on it. Level it across the surface. Send the cake to the refrigerator for another hour. Once the lemon cream layer has set, you can start decorating the cake. First, lay out a sprig of rosemary. It will symbolize the main attribute of the new year, a Christmas tree. My sprig was too long, so I trimmed it. Slightly press it into the cream layer to make it as flat as possible. Cut the very tip off the pastry bag and start decorating the cake with chocolate cream. I will write 2025. Now lay out blueberries and grape halves. From a peeled mandarin, cut off the top and bottom third and lay the central part on the cake. Slice the banana into thin circles and decorate the remaining empty spaces with them. Carefully pour a small amount of jelly cooled to room temperature over the cream and fruits. If you pour too much, the decorative elements may float and shift. The composition will be completely destroyed. Send the cake to the refrigerator for 1 hour. After an hour, pour the remaining part of the jelly and send the cake back to the refrigerator for another hour. Once the cake has completely cooled, separate it from the form using a knife. As an alternative, you can warm the sides with a hairdryer, but then the outer edge may melt slightly. Remove the form. Using a knife, separate the cake from the parchment around the edges. In my case, tearing the edges of the parchment worked better than lifting the cake. Transfer the cake to a serving dish. The finished cake combines the delicacy of tea biscuit, the creamy vanilla flavor of mousse cream, the tartness of lemon cream, and an attractive appearance thanks to the fruit decor.